Hey, what up? It's New Age Ja, and welcome back. I'm here to do an energy reading for you and to tap into the collective messages. So, the moon is trining Uranus and the sun is sextiling Saturn. So we have a fire sun in a cardinal sign sextiling Saturn in Aquarius, which is a fixed air sign. So logic can actually help us along our path of direction, but at the same time, it could be a nudge that holds us back. Friends serve us well, and we can find our friends in our Aquarian net. And we have some friends that will push you to do the very thing that will excite you, Moon trine Uranus. And then we have some other friends who could be a bit more reserved, Saturn, that will say, hey, maybe it's time you think about this a little bit or you slow down. So there's two sides of the coin here. There's an energy that is ramping up within you. It feels excited, it feels uncontrollable, it feels electrified. And this is Moon trine Uranus. The moon is in Virgo and Uranus is in Taurus. So this can be felt in our bodies. You're beginning to feel a nervousness, but not a nervousness where like you're worried about things. This is an excitement, a level of excitement that really wants things to happen, that really wants things to pop off. Uranus is unconventional and has a shock factor to it. So our emotional body, our emotional being has this intrinsic need to shock and electrify its environment. Now, the sun in Aries is in conjunction to the moon and Virgo. So there's definitely like this split identity or this split atmosphere between what our ego consciousness is telling us to do and what we are feeling on a bodily subconscious manner, okay? The Virgo moon and the Aries sun they don't see each other. They're 6 signs away from one another. So if working properly, the Virgo moon can actually serve to unhinge the Aries sun that is being kind of tempered by Saturn in Aquarius. So what this means is your emotional body, your body right now is showing you energies that can really throw you for a loop, that can be slightly unnerving, but your ego consciousness doesn't know exactly how to direct this energy properly. And you might be feeling a little bit bogged down by your responsibilities or perhaps your friend group, okay? And so if you allow yourself to actually listen to your body, Virgo moon, then your body could actually free your ego from any type of restraints that are coming from your community or your circle or just your fixed mental patterns. As Aquarius is a fixed mental sign, and Saturn here is going to want to anchor you. In the same token, your body is going to allow you or help you actualize your ego identity that eventually allows you to be a figure or a teacher or a master or a mentor in times to come. This is a mastering energy, but this is also jumping at the opportunities present to you or allowing your body to communicate exactly what your ego consciousness is intending through service of itself, okay? The Virgo moon is in service to the ego self. Virgo is in service to the ego. It is in service to the one who chooses to actualize itself, okay? So allow yourself to be spontaneous and figure out a way how to express yourself in a way that is in bodily movement. Okay. This will liberate you. Let's look at some cards here for the collective. I'm going to give this a little bridge shuffle. Yeah, these are like shocking emotions or shocking emotions or shocking thought patterns that really overtake you. The Knight of Swords, which I think the last time I did a card reading for you guys, maybe the last 2 times I did a card reading for you guys, the Knight of Swords was appearing or did appear. And the Knight of Swords are thoughts that come rushing in that you thought you kind of laid to rest. To me, this is a resurrected thought pattern or resurrected expression that comes from out of the blue. This is also allowing yourself to be spontaneous. This is also expressing yourself spontaneously. This is about cutting any thickness in the cord. This is about cutting any gray skies, any gray communication, any gray areas. This is about charging forward despite what your friends are communicating to you, despite what your fixed mental patterns are communicating to you, despite what the environment, what the web, what the internet is telling you, okay? The internet is all about programming. The social web is all about programming. And it's important for us to allow ourselves to spontaneously break free from any mental patterns that are keeping us from really charging forward and taking control of the energy that so belongs to us. See, when we don't allow the energy to flow through us, it can actually cause a breakdown in communication or a breakdown of expression. So allow yourself to meet up with the energy that is coursing through you physically as well as mentally. Once you get your body moving, once you do the random like jolting movements, Moon and Uranus, in your body, you're going to see that the expression is going to find its way. It's about moving blockages so that you can emerge. And these blockages are not going to remove themselves. This is something that needs to be tackled head on. Sun in Aries. This is about transit. This is about movement. This is also about short distance travel as well. Okay, this card fell out. 3 of Pentacles. So the 3 of Pentacles is a card of teamwork success, financial success, business success, as well as what 2 heads are better than 1. But so this is about going against the initial plan or going against the initial blueprint. There's a structure that has been put in place in regards to, there's a social dynamic or a group dynamic and a plan and or a blueprint that was put together within a social or group setting. And for some reason, you're being called to break out of this norm, to break out from the routine, from the plan. There's a plan that was set in place by a group of authorities or a social group or a working group or a friend group, and you're being asked to, you're being told to charge through this planning. This plan, even if you were a part of actually structuring the rules, structuring the ideas, structuring the plans, getting the resources, pooling the resources, putting our heads together, for some reason, Moon Uranus is telling us to break from that blueprint, break from that plan, break from that group. Or maybe you have a spontaneous thought or idea that is actually going to wreck the whole original plan. And you know what? Sometimes you just have to allow yourself to go with the spark of ingenuity, the spark of eureka. Like, no, I've been planning this for so long. I've had this intention. This is how it goes. A, B, C, 1, 2, 3. This is how it's going to go. And I've worked so hard to like plan this and put this together. Like, I'm going to go up there and I'm going to say this speech like this, or I'm going to say this ceremony like this, or I'm going to present this like this. And then all of a sudden, like, you didn't know how this was going to pan out. So you figured if you were able to get control of all of the details and put them into place, then there could possibly be nothing that goes wrong. So you worked long and hard on this plan or this idea or this ceremony or this event or this whatever it is, this wedding, whatever it is, and all of a sudden it's like, I don't want to get married, or I'm not even going to show up to the event, or I'm not going to say any of that, or nope, that's not how it's going to go. And so there's like a breaking of contract, a breaking of plans, a sudden change of arrangements that is happening. And we're being asked to allow that to happen, right? Something is being, right, the whole plan is being kaput. Like, someone is coming in and changing in the whole plan. Like, maybe you're at work and you were a part of like this group. There was like a whole new switch up at work. Like, everything was going to be changed. The rules, the managers, the supervisors, all of that was going to be changed. We're having this plan, and all of a sudden a new manager arrives, or a new supervisor arrives, or a new planner arrives, and it's like, nope, scrap all of that. Like, we're starting from ground zero. Everything that you thought was gonna, nope, it's not gonna work. And everyone's like, what? We worked so hard on this. We've been planning this forever. What do you mean? And it's like, you know what? Fuck it. Dead it. Change of plans. This is a change of plans, a change of direction, a change of social dynamic. Like, you're walking away from a friend group. You're walking away from thought patterns. You're walking away from structures put in place by you or by others. And this is a time to dead it, to end it, to free your mind, to free your creativity, to free your expression. Okay? And scrap. This is about scrapping everything that you were planning. This is about scrapping the direction you thought that was going to be. This is about sudden endings. Sudden endings. Sudden endings. Done. So don't be surprised if things come clashing around you, if there's clamor around you, sudden endings and sudden beginnings. But before the beginning, destruction of the old comes to pass. And there's that group think here. There's that group think. And someone's deciding to break away from this group think and this group planning. This is the energy of today. Okay? Bend it and mold it how you feel suits you. Yeah, maybe it's time for you to abandon like this life path that you thought you were on, or like this life plan to like retirement that you thought you were on. Like, nah, life is like shaking things up for us in a way that we couldn't even imagine. And the best thing to do about it is to honor what your body is feeling through this, what the messages that are being flowed through your body. We must honor this energy, like these sudden impulses within the vessel, and to, not allow ourselves to be slowed down by groupthink. Saturn in Aquarius, sextiling Aries, individualism, Sun. Okay. We might be prone to ignoring our emotions at this time and really not understanding the messages that our bodies are sending us. So we might try to do things to actually placate our nervous system, when in actuality we need to be tuning into it, because there's not clear communication. We just saw that Five of Swords between the sun and the moon, between the ego, between the consciousness and subconsciousness, between the self and the emotions, or the self and the soul, or the body and the soul. What else do we need to know? Two of Pentacles. So there's some oscillation happening. There's definitely some uncertainty on your behalf. You can think about it all you want, but there's going to have to be a decision you're going to make, because you're just going to be on this seesawing. Should I? I'm unsure. When you're just being told to go for it. Don't sit on this decision. Maybe you just have like this business plan or this business idea that you actually need to actualize, and you haven't been doing anything about it because you've been teeter-tottering about finances and money and making sure that everything is balanced. Well, not everything is going to be balanced constantly, and you're only going to allow yourself to be stuck in this position of considering everything around you, and it's like as if nothing is ever going to be done. So you need to break out of a pattern of overthinking, of needing to have everything in perfect balance. If a financial decision is holding you back, you're being asked to make a move on it and allow the situation to come to a head so that you can deal with the ramifications afterward. It's probably going to be messy whether you like it or not, okay? And so the idea is to not avoid the mess. Some things need to be completely deconstructed in order to be rebuilt, or some things need to be completely deconstructed and never fucking dealt with ever again. One needs to move on. I'm going to get 2 more cards to get the full picture here, if anything else. Yeah, okay, because this dude here has orange and red, which is the sacral chakra and the root chakra. This is some sort of creativity that stems from deep within your body, deep within your vessel. And then over here with the 3 of Pentacles, we have someone who's wearing this orange cloak, right? So we have orange cloak, and then someone who's like manning all the details with the solar plexus. But then we have this person now has 10 swords in their back, and this is you kind of standing in the background and maybe not putting into action any of your ideas, or not speaking up on any of your ideas, or actually allowing yourself to have your own input. And then you just end up kind of like, should I speak up? Should I say this? I think this would be better. I think that would be better. I think this is... And then you're not saying it, and you're only kind of like killing yourself by doing that. So either you're going to step up and break this like back and forth nature of over considering, like just not deciding to express your true creativity and what it is you have to say, because the Knight of Swords says what he has to say. Oh, look at the King of Swords is down here. I didn't even see that. I wasn't even consciously aware that I put that there. So we have the King of Swords and the Knight of Swords. And the King of Swords can hold his tongue a little longer than he should. He's very observant. You know, the Queen of Swords is more like off with your head, like I'm not dealing with this shit, where the King of Swords can be a little bit more reserved and observant. And you know what? Maybe this has served you for the better, but it's no longer a time to be sitting in this reserved, observative position where we're just like teetering and tottering and looking at all the details and watching everybody do everything, when we know, and if we just spoke up, that everything would change. And that's probably why you're not speaking up, because you know that the moment that you speak up, you're either going to explode, or the team is not going to agree with you, or the group is not going to agree with you, and then that's going to have you end up with an ending and having you charge off into the sunset on your own. But this sunset or this dawning brings you a new opportunity, a new beginning. So you're being asked to not be afraid to go with your inner impulses at this time. to act on your inner impulses at this time, to trust your body, to trust your emotional nature. As spontaneous and wacky and out of left field it might seem, you're being asked to trust that. To trust. To trust. And our final card. I mean, if it's for the ultimate betterment for the group and you have a better plan, then you can re-implement that elsewhere and find a group who is able to think on your level. You know, maybe you were in some social dynamic or some like charity or something like that, and you just realize that this is not a cause that you want to give to anymore, and that you can actually invest your resources into a better cause, and so you decide to dead it and you pull out. And that can be in regards to any type of investments as well. And final. There goes that 3 of Cups and the Ace of Cups. So you might be surprised that once you do actually, maybe this is like all of like your worst fears, because the 10 of Swords, swords are all in the head. The King of Swords, he's in his head. The Knight of Swords is thinking about seeing everything that's in the King of Swords, but he's not. He's holding everything back, and he's trying to avoid disaster and avoid any disruption within the group. So maybe perhaps like you are holding back because you want to avoid disruption, and you're afraid that maybe even the group might abandon you. But I don't think the surprise element might be that you might actually receive accolade and praise for your intellectual contribution in this manner. Maybe what everybody was looking for was the piece that you've been holding back all along, and is the piece that's actually going to get things moving with the Ace of Cups. It's like, this is something that is, the Ace of Cups is a refreshing renewal. It brings renewal, refresh. It's like that nice tall drink of water. Everyone's been parched of ideas. Everyone's been starved with creativity. Everyone's been kind of cold and isolated in their mind and structured and routine and regurgitating bullshit. When in all actuality, right, Saturn in Aquarius wants to have intellectual structure and have some type of intellectual normalcy or normalcy while elevating the playing field, but within rules, within regulation, you know. So we're advancing society forward according to established rules and regulations. That's Saturn in Aquarius, and Saturn is a traditional ruler of Aquarius until Uranus was discovered, and Uranus is like fuck all this, and it shakes everything up. It shakes the status quo up, and it's like, no, we're being unconventional. No, we're freeing everything. No, we're being weird. We're being out of the box. Like, and so this time is calling you to be weird, unconventional, and out of the box, and don't allow previous rules, previous regulations, previous blueprints, previous structures that were meant to advance society forward actually hold you back. Because that's not what we want to do here, okay? And you'd be surprised by how well received you'll actually be despite your fear of not being accepted. So this can go either way, and nonetheless, there's a surprising shock factor here, and it might not pan out how we thought it would, but you're being asked to trust your initial impulse, your genius capacities, these great ideas and expressive intellectual qualities that you possess, that are only pinning you down and hurting you by not allowing yourself to express your truth. So go with this gut feeling, go with this instinct, go with this spontaneity, and see how well it actually plays for you at the end. So this is the message that I have for you today. Thank you for joining me, and I'll talk to you soon. Later.